In 1789–80, French monarch of the old regime, King Louis XVI, was under great pressure to increase the taxes. Taxes in the French old regime could only be increased by calling a meeting of the Estates General. Representatives of the three estates of French society had to be present at the meeting. King Louis XVI decided to call the meeting of the Estates General in May 1789. This meeting was called more than 200 years after the previous Estates General of 1614–80. The Estates General was attended by 300 representatives, each from First and Second Estates. Third Estate, which comprised the newly arisen middle class, sent 600 representatives. This estate carried 40,000 letters outlining the demands of women, artisans and peasants who had not been allowed to come into the hall. In spite of its larger numbers, the Third Estate was given less importance, while the First and the Second Estates were seated face to face. Earlier, each estate was allowed one vote each, which brought a total to 3 votes. In this meeting, the Third Estate, inspired by Rousseau's social contract, demanded 1 vote each for every one of the members of the Estates General. This gave 300 votes each to both the First and Second Estates, and 600 votes for the Third Estate, bringing the total to 1,200 votes. King Louis XVI rejected the demands of the Third Estate, forcing them to walk out of the Estates General. Next month, the Third Estate gathered at a tennis court in Versailles, declared itself the National Assembly, and took the famous tennis court oath. The tennis court oath, which promised to make a new constitution for France based on demands of the Third Estate, was led by the noble Mirabeau and the priest Abbé Sieyès. Meanwhile, the rest of Versailles was in turmoil. Bread prices had gone up, and women had started attacking hoarders and shop owners. The revolt became even more violent when the rebels stormed the castle of Bastille and released the political prisoners who had been confined there. Not far away, in the French countryside, peasants and villagers heard rumors that the rich lords intended to destroy their crops and fields. They took up arms and raided local manors. Records containing the dues of the peasants were burnt by the mob. The noble lords and their families were forced to flee the country. Pressurized by the alarming conditions, King Louis XVI was forced to recognize the National Assembly as a legitimate organization. The revolution of the common people had shown its effect.